Okay, here we go with part 3 of factoring trinomials. So these are definitely a lot more challenging than the problems in video number 1. So let's go ahead and take notes here. And again, make sure you message me as you're watching these if you have any questions. Okay, so we did 3 problems in video 1, 3 problems in video 2, and we will do 3 problems here as well. So example number 7. Okay, so factor completely. And let's suppose that we have this. Negative 8x squared plus x to the 4th plus 12. Okay, so this is a trinomial. It's not exactly a quadratic where it's a degree 2. So the degree of this polynomial is 4 because that's the highest exponent. Okay, so this isn't a quadratic because quadratics, the degree of the polynomial is 2 for a quadratic. But this here is degree 4. However, we say that this here is quadratic in form because it has a very similar structure. So what you want to do here is rewrite the expression in descending order. So that means start with the highest exponent. Okay, so we're going to do that first before we factor. All right, so we're going to start off with x to the 4th, and then minus x squared, and then plus 12. Okay, and so here this is quadratic in form because we see we have this exponent here, 4, and this one is 2. So whenever we have this exponent and then this one is half of it, you have a quadratic. Okay, quadratic in form. Okay. All right, so we can go ahead and factor this in a similar fashion that we were doing the other ones. So here, but instead of trying to make x squared, we're trying to make x to the 4th. So there's only one way to do that. Well, I guess there's not more. There's more than one way, but we're going with x squared times x squared. Okay, and then here we're going to we need to have the same signs in order to get positive. Okay, so this tells me the signs will both be negative. Okay, and then there are 3 ways to make 12. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Okay, and so hopefully by now you're able to tell somewhat which of the 3 will work. So 2 and 6 will work, and we can check the middle term. So here, outside product, we get negative 6x squared. Inside product, we get negative 2x squared, and that gives us negative 8x squared. Okay? All right, so that does work. So our final answer is this. Right now, your answers here won't be perfect squares because later on we're going to look at, how do we factor this when they are difference of squares? But for now, you have factored completely. This won't factor anymore under the real numbers. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. Okay, so example 8, factor completely. Hey, can you shut the kitchen door? Can you shut the kitchen door? All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this one. 6y cubed plus 13x squared y cubed plus 6x4y cubed. All right, so this looks a little complicated, right? But if you take a closer look, we see that, oh, they have y cubed in common. So that's why you always want to check to see if they have anything in common that you can factor out. That way it'll make it look a little less complicated. All right, so let's go ahead and factor out y cubed. So that'll give us 6 plus 13x squared plus 6x to the 4th. Okay. And you could factor that trinomial when it's written like that, but let's go ahead and put it in descending order. Okay. So y cubed. Ooh, we've got 6's here. All right. So the only reason why this is a little more complicated is because there's more than one way to make 6. And then same thing here, there's more than one way to make 6. And so what happens is you have a lot of options that you have to try. So that's the only thing. But as far as the process goes, it's still the same process. You just have a longer list. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and try. Okay, so first of all, 1 and 6, 2 and 3, and then the same goes for this side over here, 1 and 6, 2 and 3, right? All right, so let's go ahead and, I don't know, let's try 6x squared times 1x squared. See what we get. Both signs have to be the same. Both of them will be positive. Okay? All right. Okay, so I can try 1 and 6, but then that's not going to work. Okay, I can tell if I put a 1 here and a 6 here, I'm going to get 37, right, for the middle term. If I put a 6 here, I'll write it all out. Okay, so if I put a 1 here and a 6 here, then right here, I get 36, right? 36. So you can try doing these in your head now, checking the middle term instead of writing them down. So, but if you need to write them down, then write them down. Okay, so 36 plus 1, that's 37, positive 37. That's not what we want. So this one doesn't work. Okay. I can't put the 6 there because if I put the 6 there and the 1 there, this has 6 in common, which means that the original problem should have 6 in common. Okay. Which it does not. Okay, so 1 and 6, not an option yet. Okay, we didn't try it with 2 and 3 here. Okay. All right. So let's try 2 and 3 here. If I put a 2 there, they have 2 in common, but then the original problem should have 2 in common, but they don't. So I know I can't put the 2 there. So maybe the 2 goes here and the 3 goes here. They have 3 in common, which means that the original problem should have 3 in common, but they don't. So then this doesn't work either. Okay, so that didn't work. All right, so if neither one of these choices worked, then that means this original start is not right. Okay, so it's probably not 1 and 6. It's got to be these two. All right. Let me make some room there. So 3x squared times 2x squared. Okay. And now I can try these combinations. This one is not going to work because if I put the 6 here, they have 3 in common. If I put the 6 here, they have 2 in common. But the original problem doesn't have 2 or 3 in common, right? So this 1, 6 combination doesn't work. Okay, so 2 and 3. If I put the 2 here, because I'm certainly not going to put the 3 there, right? Because then they'll have 3 in common. So let's check this combination. Okay, so if I check this combination here, the outside will give me positive 9x squared. And here I get positive 4x squared. And that gives me positive 13x squared, which is what I want for the middle term. Remember, you're checking this middle term, not the one way up there. Okay. All right, so that's our answer for this one. It's y cubed, 3x squared plus 2, 2x squared plus 3. But you can see here that the complexity increases only when you have a lot of choices, okay, to try out, okay? But as far as the process goes, it's still the same. All right, and then this one last example. Speaking of quadratic in form, so let's take a look at this factor completely. And suppose that I have this, x plus y squared plus 7 times x plus y plus 12. Okay, so that definitely looks kind of weird. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here is this is actually quadratic in form as well, because what we can do here is use substitution. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let A, doesn't matter what letter you choose. Okay, I'm going to let A represent x plus y. Okay, so wherever I see an x plus y, I'm going to replace it with an A. Okay, so I see an x plus y here, so I'm going to replace that with A, so it's going to say A squared. I see an x plus y here, so I'm going to replace it with A, so it's going to say plus 7A. And then I have that plus 12 hanging around. Okay, so now this looks like the trinomials that you've been factoring. So let's go ahead and just factor this trinomial instead of that one. Okay, so if I do that, there's only one way to make A squared. That's A times A. Both signs are going to be the same because I want positive. This tells me they're both going to be positive. And my choices are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And I think at this point, you should be able to tell it should be 3 and 4. Okay? All right, so A plus 3, A plus 4. And if we check the middle, positive 4A, positive 3A. That gives me positive 7A. And what do we want for our middle? Positive 7A. All right, but you're not quite done here. So what you have to do here now is go back and replace the A with x plus y, okay? Because remember, there's no A in our original problem, so go back and replace the A with x plus y. So our answer is going to be x plus y plus 3, x plus y plus 4. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so those are our 3 problems here. So again, if you have any questions, make sure you text me or you email me. Or use the discussion link in your study group. You can do it that way as well. All right, enjoy your day.